Welcome to F the Rules. Well, knock knock, who's there? Orange? Orange who? Orange, you glad we're not talking about fruit, but the juicy topic, government and corporate absurdities. Now let's delve a little further into this. You know, it's always been a curiosity of mine to observe the interaction between the masses and the government. It's as if they have a unique, uncanny ability, a knack, if you will, for turning people against each other. It's like they're the world's worst matchmaker. They manage to create divisions rather than unity, to aggravate rather than to soothe. It is paradoxical, isn't it? The very body that is supposed to protect and enhance the bond among the citizens ends up doing the exact opposite. Remember the Trump effect? Ah, those were the days. It was like a bad episode of The Apprentice. Remember that show? The one where Trump himself would fire people? Only this time, instead of getting fired, you were treated to a Twitter feud. Trump's presidency was like a reality television show. We were watching in real time the decisions that a businessman turned politician made for a nation. It was comedy, drama, and a bit of horror, all rolled into one. Then there was the Biden effect. Oh, poor Biden. It's like watching your grandfather trying to use a smartphone. You appreciate the effort he is in, you really do, but not quite sure he knows what he's doing. The intentions are good, no doubt, but the execution leaves a lot to be desired. Often it feels like trying to navigate through a maze without a map, stumbling over obstacles, hitting dead ends and retracing steps. Don't get me started on the white supremacist effect. It's like someone took a history book, all that decided to skip the lessons they should have learned from it and declared, yes, let's make America like that again. It's a terrifying thought, isn't, to go back to a time where discrimination was rampant, where hate was normalized. It's almost as if they've forgotten what progress really means. And oh, the military-industrial complex effect. It's like a never-ending game of Risk, where the only winners are the ones selling the game boards. The ones who profit are rarely the ones on the battleground. It's a game where lives are the playing pieces, and the highest bidder wins. It's a dangerous game, not just for those who are directly involved, but for everyone else who is indirectly affected by the outcomes of this game. But let's not forget, America isn't just a country, it's a corporation. And the interesting thing about corporations is that they're not designed to care, they're designed for profit. And we all know corporations care about people as much as cats care about their humans' personal space. Which brings me to another point. Did you ever wonder why corporations never help the homeless? The ones with means to make a real difference often stay away. It's simple. There's no ROI in compassion. It's like asking a shark to go vegan. It's contrary to their nature, to their very essence. The world of government and corporate absurdities is indeed a fascinating one. It's a world where the rules are twisted, the players are cunning, and the stakes are high. It's a world that could do with a little more compassion, a little more understanding, and a lot more fairness. So knock knock. Who's there again? It is the truth asking to be let in. And Orange, you're glad we're not talking about something as fruit, but delving into the complex and intriguing realities of government and corporate absurdities. The rise of hatred on both sides has fueled more wars than a Michael Bay movie. This isn't a simple analysis or a fleeting observation. It's a profound realization that hatred, a poisonous emotion, has become the catalyst for the bloodshed we see on an unprecedented scale. This battle isn't limited to land, sea or air. It has infiltrated the minds and hearts of individuals, communities and nations, painting them with broad strokes of animosity, prejudice and xenophobia. The scenario is akin to a volatile chemical reaction where each component contributes to the resulting explosion. The first constituent of this perfect storm is the me mentality. This is a manifestation of a deep-seated narcissism, an unwavering conviction of self-importance that blinds one to the needs, rights and sufferings of others. It's an obsession with individualism that discards the concept of a collective, of unity, in favor of personal gain. This unyielding focus on I over we is a surefire incendiary, sparking conflicts that escalate into wars. The second part of this disastrous cocktail is the victim mentality. This perspective paints oneself as a perpetual casualty, always at the receiving end of injustice, always the target of oppression. It breeds a sense of entitlement and a thirst for retribution, leading individuals and nations to retaliate, perpetuating a cycle of violence and suffering. The victim mentality justifies acts of aggression as a means of self-defense, an eye for an eye, feeding the insatiable beast of war. The third and final ingredient of this potent mix is the "I hate you because you're not indoctrinated enough" mentality. This is the belief that those who don't share our views, our beliefs, or our way of life are fundamentally flawed, deserving of our contempt and even our hostility. This mindset breeds intolerance, stifling diversity and promoting homogeneity. It eradicates any chance of peaceful coexistence, replacing dialogue and understanding with confrontation and conflict. Each of these mentalities has the potential to stir unrest and discord. But when they intertwine, they form of hostility, a perfect storm that is capable of igniting wars on a scale not seen since the times of world wars. Reflecting on this, one can't help but draw parallels to a high school cafeteria. A place where cliques form, where the popular and the strong prey on the weak and the different, where the pressure to conform is overwhelming, and the consequences of deviating can be devastating. But there's a terrifying twist. Instead of fists, insults and food fights, we are dealing with nuclear weapons. It's like a high school cafeteria, but with nuclear weapons. And religion, it's like the world's longest-running reality show, with more spin-offs than you can count, and a viewer base that spans the globe. Take the Kardashians, for instance. Their reality TV series is just a drop in the ocean compared to what religion has to offer. Religion has been here since the dawn of man, and yet its complexities and nuances never cease to amaze. Let's delve a little deeper. Let's consider the Mormons, for instance. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as they're formally known, is a fascinating subject in itself. It's a religion born out of the United States in the 19th century, founded by a man named Joseph Smith, claimed to have been visited by God and Jesus Christ while praying in a grove of trees. And at one point in their history, they held a belief that black people were cursed, which has since been disavowed. Talk about a plot twist. Then shift your attention to the financial world. The stock market, for one, is an enthralling beast. For the uninitiated, it can feel like you're playing Monopoly with someone who owns all the hotels. It's a game of high stakes, big money, and even bigger risks. And what about the cryptocurrency frenzy? It's like a magic trick where the illusionist not only wows you with their skill, but also somehow manages to disappear with your wallet. Volatility, the unpredictability, it's all part of the allure. Finally, let's not forget the compounding interest narrative. It's sold to us as a beneficial investment strategy, a way for your money to grow exponentially over time. But it's like running on a treadmill thinking you're getting somewhere, but inflation is at the controls cranking up the speed. So what do we do amidst all these absurdities? Well, it's simple yet complex. The answer lies in one word: question. Question every thought, every belief, and every action. Put on your thinking cap and challenge the status quo, the accepted norms, the so-called truths that have been ingrained into us. Imagine oneself as a curious toddler, those little bundles of joy that question everything around them. Their innocent yet profound questions of why often leave us adults at a loss for words. The beauty of innocence, the power of curiosity. Embrace this, embody this, become that toddler in the room, always ready with a why. Now you might ask, why should we do this? The answer is simple. If we don't, we run the risk of becoming sheep, blindly following shepherd. And let's be honest, who wants to be a sheep? Yes, their wool is warm, cozy even, but is the comfort of the wool worthy of one's ability to question, to think, to challenge? The world is a stage and we are its actors. But remember, the script is not always set in stone. It can be changed, rewritten, challenged. It's time to step up, step out of the crowd and make your voice heard. So, do not be afraid, do not hesitate. Challenge the conventional, question the unquestionable. Be the toddler in the room. Remember, the greatest trick the powerful ever pulled was convincing the world they couldn't be questioned. And this, my dear friends, is exactly why we must ask away.